You may have noticed the many women posting hashtag #MeToo on social media. Here to take a look at the movement's impact locally, here's Angela Vinette.
Hi, I'm Angela and I'm here with Paula and Gabe today, and we are launching Women Abuse Prevention Month. And one of the big hot topics in social media is the Me Too campaign. So let's just talk about that a little bit. What are some of the things that you're noticing online and in social media in regards to the Me Too campaign?
Just right now the amount, for a couple of days it was just like it seemed like everybody on my Facebook was posting it or posting something about it, whether they were posting the actual hashtag or articles about it. It like you said, it was the hot topic. It was something that everybody was talking about, men and women
alike. Yeah, and I was surprised actually at people sharing their own stories. It wasn't just Me Too, it was people that I maybe wasn't expecting it or hadn't had conversations with before were sharing their own experiences about Me Too. So I thought it was pretty powerful and pretty cool movement.
I found it seemed to come really out of nowhere, and then it just exploded with the allegations with Harvey Weinstein occurring, and then all of a sudden it was bombarded. Were you surprised by any of the conversations that were being had?
Not necessarily by the conversations. I think, like Paula said, sometimes it's people like you never knew that maybe had come out, and you're like, oh my God, I never knew this about this person, and it just makes you see that different side of things. I'm not surprised by the number. I think some people were, but for me, it wasn't. I think I kind of knew that a lot of people had, and so, but it is astounding too. It's actually amazing, that number. If not surprising.
I think the number's a lot larger too. I think there's still people that are sitting there thinking Me Too and not writing Me Too. So I think it's maybe a catalyst for thinking with some people, and men and women alike, both of them thinking, oh, have I experienced? Because it's not just women that are Me Too. Men have Me Too moments as well. So I think I'm surprised that the number isn't larger. So I'm really happy that we're starting to talk about it and starting to bring more awareness to it. But I thought I can't imagine a person that hasn't had a moment where they felt little or small or defined by their sexuality in a moment. So
For sure. I thought that was interesting too. It's just I saw a couple of people that I think on Twitter, and it was like, survivors don't owe you their story either. So there was all sides to it at the same time. Like as many people that were opening up, there was other people that were like, well, I don't owe you this. I don't have to. Posting this is not going to do anything or whatever. So it's interesting to see all the sides of the coin too.
That's true. There was a lot of conversations in regard to why should I share my story.
Right.
But I think it was just to create that impact and knowing that, hey, you know what, there are a lot of people that are experiencing this, and it's not an exclusive, amount of people, that really it does happen to everybody, male and female.
And I think from a guy's perspective, I think it's something that I was aware of before, but I think the biggest thing that I've probably learned is just, and this is something I think I knew before, but maybe wasn't as good at, is just the saying that this is not okay. So maybe, I'm not saying I'm perfect or that I don't do stuff sometimes that might be construed or whatever, because everybody can get better. Paula shared a very good article on Facebook about ways that we can, and there are some things that I didn't even realize. But at the same time, I think one of the most important ones is when you see that type of behavior is to, as a man especially, is to say, no bud, or no dude, that's not okay to do that, to say that, so to stand up for the women in your life, or just even if it's not a woman in your life, it's just a woman that's, if your buddy says, oh, check out the butt on that one, and say, no, dude, that's not appropriate.
I think that's the biggest thing that, for me, men can do to change the conversation, is just to start saying, no, that's not okay. It's not okay. And that's it. It's because we often just sit and be like, oh, that just happened. But we then become a part of the problem. So it's just about having a conversation of, I really didn't like the way you spoke to that person. And that's it. And it doesn't have to be more than that. It can be just that, because that begins the change. That begins the ball rolling of these conversations need to start happening. So even if that's all you have to say, that's all you can muster in the moment, that's not okay, then I think that's a really great start.
Or even just being conscious as a male to know that, hey, you know what, maybe if I say that might not be the right thing to say. I've had great conversations with some of my male friends in regards to that, in regards to flirting and harassment. So clearing those lines up and understanding that, you know what, maybe she doesn't want to hear that, or maybe those opinions you can keep to yourself.
Absolutely. And I know one of the things too that this is, I guess, one of the things that I've learned or surprised me is just that how much every woman, walking down the street at night is afraid. And I had one of those experiences, and I did, I guess, the right thing in that situation, where I was walking behind a woman once, And you'd almost tell like she was looking back and she like quickened her pace. So I did cross the street because I'm like, I'm making her nervous. And even though there was no bad intentions there, I'm like, it's making her nervous, so I crossed the street to make her feel better.
And that's definitely helpful because we do walk with, keys in our hands and on guard at all times, no matter where we go. And we cross streets to avoid, or we turn our eyes down to be able to avoid those conversations.
Absolutely. It's a constant, you're constantly on guard. And I know maybe it's very small, maybe it's in the back of our minds, but we're constantly on. We have to be on all the time to kind of be aware. You can't even, they tell you not to run with, a ponytail. Don't run with a ponytail in your hair because that's easier for someone to attack you. So, I mean, that's the culture that we live in, and we need to start having conversations, and then conversations lead to change.
Absolutely. And I know it's, especially this month with Women Abuse Prevention Month, and there's a lot of activities for people like me that want to learn more, right?
Absolutely. So Shine the Light is starting this month. It is a business engagement. So anywhere you see little candles or signs that says Shine Your Light, these are businesses in our local community that do support it. There's Vital Voices, which is a panel discussion with the agencies in town that provide support for women of abuse. And there's also the White Ribbon Campaign, which is a man's initiative to end violence against women. And all of them are happening in our community this month.